I was 4 years old.
Wow. See, now that's good to know, Chris, because a lot of people say at that age you can't.
Well, the Bible says if you don't have faith like a little child, right?
Yeah.
Then you can't enter the kingdom.
So what
of God.
happened? Where were you? How did it happen?
So I was 4. I remember sitting on the couch, our little box TV in the living room, and me and Mom were watching the Mummers Parade. You were outside playing ball, I think, with some of the kids in the neighborhood or whatever. And
definitely not you, because you didn't get the skills, right?
I ended up better than you at stuff. I don't know how that happened.
That's what I understand. You got bigger and better.
But I was watching the Mummers Parade, and then we just started talking about God.
Yep.
And she gave me the gospel, and I ended up getting saved. And I remember running out onto the porch, and you were outside, and I was like, "Dad, guess what?"
I was only a few people's favorite in life. I used to be a lot of people. Like, I used to be a lot of people's favorites, and then you get to know me, and you don't like me. It's a weird thing, isn't it? People get close.
Nope.
True.
No, it's not that weird. I was your brother. Grew up.
You know what it is? We're always searching for acceptance.
Well, I think people don't. It's not that they don't like you. They can't stand that you're always.
Welcome back, YouTube. Episode number 38.
What up?
We're happy to have you. We are feeling good today. We have no notes. We have no idea what we're going to talk about, so we're just going to see where it takes us.
We are flying by the seat of Podpaster's pants.
And there's some big pants.
Listen, last night has him
Not as big as those.
no noting, just high tooting.
But yeah,
That's right.
so welcome
I'm dressed
back.
for the occasion too.
Welcome back. Number one podcast in the world, according to statistics. Statistics don't lie. I do, but statistics don't, and it says that we're the number one podcast in the world. You can look it up.
Hence
please-
why Podpaster's dressed up.
Yeah, he's all fancy now.
We hit 180 subscribers.
180 million. We're the number one podcast in the world. And anyway, please like, subscribe, share the video. We didn't get any comments on the last video. Please comment down below anything you want us to hear, anything you want us to talk about. Like the video, but the most important is share the video. If you have anything that helps you in this video, share it with your friends and your family, because that's the ultimate goal of the podcast. We're trying to help as many people as we possibly can, find the Lord, or just,
Or even just lighten the moment if they're going through something a little too serious.
Especially during the moment we're going through as a country. With
bringing joy.
An important, the shot heard around the world. I think this is the new shot heard around the world. The assassination attempt. We knew it was coming eventually, though. Of our former president, Donald Trump.
I just can't believe it was you.
Don't even say that. I'll tell you what. I'm dressed for the occasion. I took it serious. We feel bad for the man who lost his life. So
yeah,
Lord, we'll pray for that family. God's grace.
I mean, that's tough. You're going there to celebrate and kind of enjoy the moment, and then
I saw this video. This guy was helping that guy that died, and he had blood all over his shirt. And he was just like giving the details of how it went down, and it was just sad, man.
You know what led to this though? The assassination of the Bible. Take the Bible out of school. Take the Bible out of the courtroom. And, man, they assassinated God first. And now...
He's cooking.
This is it. This is what it is. And now they're shooting at our democracy. They're shooting at our freedom. They ain't just shooting at some man.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So, we can go all the way back to Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. He was the most hated president in the United States until now, Trump.
Right. But Lincoln was assassinated.
Yeah, he was. By William...
Bibles were still in school.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
The 10 Commandments are still at the courts.
All right. Good argument.
I would say, though, it was a much more dangerous time in the world back then. Now it's unprecedented.
Yeah, that was the Wild West.
Yeah,
all right, okay.
Because
I got precedents coming at you, boys.
Well, just because nowadays with how woke the world is and how it's an aggression if you say the wrong words nowadays, you're hurting somebody physically somehow. That now a shooting, an assassination attempt is a lot more out of the cards than it was back in the day. Back in the day, there was plenty of.
I don't necessarily think so on that. I think 1980 a very similar situation, a melting pot.
Lincoln was 1980?
No, Reagan.
Oh, clarify.
Reagan. I was moving up to a more modern time. It's only 40 years ago. It's way before Christian John's time.
That's right in my time.
But 1980,
45.
well, not 80. I think 81 is when he was the assassination attempt. But in 80, it was this very similar. Interest rates were through the roof.
Wow.
The economy was in a recession.
Yeah.
The 80-81 recession. Reagan and Jimmy Carter hated each other. Personally, did not like each other. Very much like Trump and Biden. Very much like the stock market that it is today, and the interest rates. And the Fed was scrambling just like it is today. So there was an attack at the Olympics, which we have the Summer Olympics this year, from Iran on the Jewish Olympic team. Yeah. Which is obviously, if you've done a little history, you know that. And we just had that Jewish attack in October. So a lot of similarities. Yeah. In the world. I get that it could be unprecedented, but for me, I think assassinations.
Well, history does repeat itself. Israel repeated themselves in the Bible. Walk with the Lord, walk away. Walk with the Lord, walk away. So we're known as that as humanity, and that's what you see happening.
But you notice every time they walked away, it's because they just took God out of their lives completely.
So they got comfortable.
Right. Well, it could be the same thing with the world. The world, every time it gets like this, you realize we're the furthest away from God we have been in a while.
What's missing
and then
now?
Usually something like this happens, and then you hear a bunch of outrage, and then you get a lot of people. Like recently online, there's been a whole bunch of famous celebrities. Mark Wahlberg has the Hallow app now. He's like advocating for prayer and Christianity. You got all these. The Chosen is a biblical.
Got the Podcaster.
Yeah, the Podcaster, one of the biggest podcasts in the world. They're talking about Christianity and God.
Our man
Patrick Bet-David.
We love him.
He's also a Christian.
I would love to have him look at this little tiny podcast that means nothing.
You got podcasts like
That'd be great.
Yeah, you have podcasts like George Janko, millions and millions of subscribers. He's a Christian podcast. Yeah, like The Chosen is a TV show based about Jesus, one of the biggest TV shows in the world.
I don't like it. I don't like The Chosen. Let's not talk about it. You want to debate? We will get into it.
We don't have to debate.
They have a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof, bud. I don't like it. Woo! So throw The Chosen off of this podcast. It's fake.
Well, I think what he's saying is...
It's not what you said 2 days ago.
Being real for now on. I was at Chris and Ashley's in South Carolina.
I love Ashley.
Oh, so you're fake when you're around them. But
Ashley, that's when he said that she loves you, Dan.
Yeah,
she always says, I'm going to tell Danny.
She's like a sweetheart. She reminds me of
She's a sweetheart to all the guys. Relax.
Well, wait, no.
Every guy feel like they're the best guy in the world.
Wait, because I have
She's sweet that way.
because I have a witness on this. I was in the car on the phone with you. I was asking you a bunch of topics. Me and Lily were doing our devotions. I was asking a bunch of topics about some stuff. And I brought up The Chosen as a topic. I don't watch it personally.
We're not on. I told you we're not talking about it.
Oh, yeah, but I want to bring it up now.
I don't like it. You want to fight?
Go at it. Go at it.
No, I'm just saying.
Go at it.
Tell me what you like about it.
Go at it.
I don't watch it.
You ask me the questions. I'll tell you the answer.
So, hold on. Did he ask you or did he ask you?
He asked me.
I asked him.
You sound like Ashley now because she corrects my English all the time.
All I'm saying is
that's why you like him so much.
All right, so let's set it up.
Chris likes you too. Yeah, obviously.
Chris, true Southern.
I think he only friend requested you though because his wife likes you so much. He's worried.
Chris, you friend requested me. I was impressed.
Yeah, he's worried. Ashley likes you a little too much.
So we're talking about Chris and Ashley. We're talking about The Chosen.
I love Chris and I'll talk about them all day. They're my favorite people in the world.
I just want to get back to it because I don't watch.
He's calling you a liar, but he hasn't said it yet.
I'm saying because I'm trying.
No, he's not going to tell him because I told him I'll tell you the truth. Come on, tell me, buddy.
This is exactly how it happened.
Right.
I don't watch. There's a show called The Chosen. They say that it's biblical fan fiction, so they don't say that it's based on the Bible.
Right.
It's just a show about Jesus, and there's some stuff that happened in the Bible, and then other things they add in to like just make it. It's like storytelling.
Trash.
So I don't watch it, but I brought it up because it's a very popular show, and there's a lot of different. How would you say, like sects of Christianity that watch it? SECTS.
Clarify.
And this guy. So I just asked you, I said, how do you feel about that? Like, do you think that that type of show is okay for a Christian to watch? And you said, yeah. You said, this was 2 days ago.
I said because you know the what.
He was hanging out with Chris and Ashley.
What did I say? Finish my sentence, boy.
No, you didn't say that. Actually, I'm going to have to call on my witness because you didn't say that. I said, I think that if somebody like me were to watch it, it would be different because I know the Lord.
We need you,
so I can discern what's real and what's not.
Right.
And then also I said, but how do you feel about people that don't know the word? I was like, because that could be if they're not in if they're interested in Christianity. But what if that show brings them closer to wanting to know about
I recant
God?
then.
Hold on, Lily. What did he say? Is that what Christian?
Lily don't want to get Bob. She don't want to throw. She don't want to throw tea out there.
She was about to come on this podcast and rip
you
you a new one. I know that.
If you're a believer watching it, it could confuse you.
You know why she's afraid?
Why?
Because you probably never invited her and Christian out to dinner by themselves.
I'll tell you, when Chris and Ashley come, you guys are invited.
Like I said, not by themselves.
And I'll tell you what, and they to this day have never seen our apartment. They went and saw Gianna and Jason's apartment or house out in North Carolina.
That's not fair.
Multiple times. Yeah. Multiple. They've been down there.
And
we live 30 minutes.
And then the faith tournament happened. They're down there for 4 days straight, right 2 minutes from the apartment we live.
True. Wow. But they're never there.
So never brought you a housewarming gift.
We aren't there a lot.
So never brought you a housewarming gift either.
Yeah, I think we did, didn't we?
You guys gave us something.
We sent one of the kids over there. I'll tell you though, all
right, you can get back to the Chosen. Sorry.
Yeah, so the Chosen. Don't forget, in the end, there will be many antichrists, many
false prophets.
Yeah. So to me, it's one of those things I can never. To me, it's any of these Hollywood people who try to take the Bible and they ruin it. Noah, they ruined that one. A lot of them, and they add in. It's like K-Love. K-Love. Some of these artists are disgusting, and they speak blasphemous, and then they sing about our Jesus, and we love their songs. I don't listen to Caleb no more. I'm done with it. And that's a shout-out to Chris McDonald.
You sound like a Pharisee.
Chris McDonald, why?
Because I guess you would have never listened to Paul when he got saved from killing Jews.
That's a good
I disagree with that point, though.
Why? How come there can't be a change?
Because he didn't use the world to try to get me to Jesus.
I'm not going to say that. I'm just saying.
Even though they'll say you're VBS, that's what Chris and Ashley jumped my bones about.
Yeah, we're doing Willy Wonka.
And I agree with them. I do. I think we can use Bible characters, but I don't think it's sin. So let's not get there because they'll shut off the podcast. By the way, we got to talk.
So we're doing this podcast, and Chris and Ashley don't shut it off.
No, I mean, honestly, I was surprised to even watch because they act like they don't.
I'm coming at him. I mean, he's fired up. I'm fired up.
Chris and Ashley used to watch all of our services, everything. They said they watch it just to laugh, and I'm sure that's true. But I was shocked that when I found out they do watch the podcast, Ashley listens to it. They put it on and just walk around the house and listen to it. So I shout out to all the boys: Timmy, Christopher. Josiah, Micah. They got Elizabeth, who just turned 10.
Nahum.
I love her. And their baby, he is the most gorgeous little fat dude you ever meet. Cute. Little Nazi, all blonde hair, blue eyes.
Better than this little fatty?
Nah.
I was going to say that.
Here's one thing I did teach him, though. I taught him how to play ball there when we were there. He's not even one. And I grabbed
You didn't teach him that.
Yeah, I did. I would say, "Buh." And then he would throw it over his head. It'd be, "Buh." They probably hated that.
You do that so naturally. Do it again.
I'll tell you what, though. But they talked about the podcast. You know what Ashley wants to hear? Your salvation testimonies.
Oh.
So let's do that. Let's give that so her kids can hear that you're true Christians, because they probably won't be allowed to hear the podcast if we don't do it. So let's get that.
No, I think we start with Christian John.
Yeah, let's go with the youngest in the room.
Mine's probably the most boring anyway. So.
Whoa, salvation's boring? That's what I mean about you, bud. This is a chance to pump people up.
I'm just saying it's not an interesting story. It's just
every salvation story is interesting. The creator of all the universe sent his son to die for you. How did you accept it?
But my individual salvation testimony isn't as...
Oh, so you're judging according to my testimony or someone else's?
This guy.
I mean, that's what I hate. I hate when that is grown up Christian, though, right? Because you get these people who are really.
No, saved. I'm just saying it's not a long story. It's just I didn't have a whole back and forth of struggle.
All right, so tell us how you came to Christ. That's all.
I was 4 years old.
Wow. See, now that's good to know, Chris, because a lot of people say at that age you can't.
Well, the Bible says if you don't have faith like a little child, right?
Yeah.
Then you can't enter the kingdom.
So what happened? Where were you? How did it happen?
So I was 4. I remember sitting on the couch, our little box TV in the living room, and me and Mom were watching the Mummers Parade. You were outside playing ball, I think, with some of the kids in the neighborhood or whatever. And
definitely not you, because you didn't get the skills, right?
I ended up better than you at stuff. I don't know how that happened.
That's what I understand. You got bigger and better.
But I was watching the Mummers Parade, and then we just started talking about God.
Yep.
And she gave me the gospel, and I ended up getting saved. And I remember running out onto the porch, and you were outside, and I was like, Dad, guess what? And you were like, what? I was like, I just got saved. And then you were like, oh, that's great. And that's pretty much all I remember.
What'd you do to get saved, though?
I believe that Jesus came and died and was buried and rose again for me and my sin.
That's it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
4 years old. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And really, you are a wonderful kid. Salvation really does make a difference.
Yeah, and I always would, like, as you grow up, obviously, you have doubts of, like, man, I mean, I was 4. Does that even count? Like,
Yeah.
But I can't remember another time that I can, like, usually it would stick out to you when you're saved.
Yeah, because the Holy Spirit enters you, and you're a new creature.
Yeah.
How about you, Uncle Dan's? Tell Ashley. She's interested. She can't be friends with someone that's not Christian.
Can't be friends with, she can't be friends with a beluga.
That's crazy.
But I think
You're calling yourself a whale?
a beluga, yeah.
She'll say you're fat, too.
Yeah.
She says it.
No, it's for me. So I think, growing up in a pastor's home and growing up Christian, as I like to call it, there's multiple opportunities to get saved.
Yeah.
And there's multiple reasons to get saved, whether it's a church camp, family camp, summer camp, high school camp. You have opportunities, and I think, you're for me 5, 6, 7. I think I probably prayed the prayer every year, but it really didn't make a change until I was 9. 8 or 9. This is when Bethel was back.
Was it 8 or was it 9?
8 or 9. Bible. I don't need to know the exact date.
I'm just kidding.
You know why? Jesus knows the
Yeah.
date.
But we're in the red room, the old red
Yeah,
building,
at
and
Bethel.
Uncle Donnie and Izzy.
Wow.
So I Pop preached, I think it was, and preached on hell, and I was, obviously scared, and
Right.
obviously I didn't have the background that some people get saved from, and I think that's hard growing up Christian.
Yeah.
I think we don't get saved from ourselves. And we grow up very good compared to the world. We don't have the scars. We don't have the bad decisions. So even at 18, 19, 20 years old, we still don't know who we are. So getting saved at 9, Uncle Don, I went up to the gym steps. If you remember the gym steps, we went all the way up.
That little kitchen.
Yeah, right outside there. And I sat on the gym steps with Uncle Don, and he walked me through the plan of salvation. And I knew I didn't want to go to hell. I mean, I got straight up, I got saved because I didn't want to go to hell.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was as bad as I was. My bad was I fell asleep in church during some of the long services from Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee. He was old like Robert E. Lee. Dr. E. Robert
That's
Jordan.
crazy, man.
Dr. E. Robert Jordan. But I would fall asleep on some of his. But that was bad for us.
Yeah.
So I got saved there, came down, and then Pop in an ice cold baptismal baptized me.
Yeah.
And the baptism was off. Remember to the right near the sound room, that little sound room, Mike Torma's old office?
Yeah.
Got baptized there. And, I knew there was a change. I was a witnesser. I would witness to our neighbors. I would witness to people outside. Obviously, I cared for souls. But then growing up Christian, 14, 15, 16, 17, I think that was, I guess, I was still a good kid. I wasn't you.
I wasn't.
I wasn't you.
I'm gonna give mine.
Yeah, I wasn't you. I wasn't Dom. I didn't get in trouble like yous did.
Yeah.
So I really didn't find out that I needed to be saved from myself. And not saying I wasn't saved. I was saved from fire. I was saved from brimstone. Mm-hmm. And that's I think part of salvation.
Right.
That's the thief on the cross salvation.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I don't want to go there. I believe that you're Christ. That was that first salvation. Second salvation, though, which I think is probably more recent.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
reassurance, you mean?
not reassurance, just I didn't know who I was. I don't know. I think evil. I was a good person. Like I really have been a good, and then I'm starting to realize that, older age in my 30s that
that happened for me at 27.
like I don't care about the thing of God.
I hated the rules. I hated the house. I thought I knew better than my mom and dad. I thought we always thought the grass was greener at someone else's house. Then we would get there and realize, okay, they're a little bit more worldly, but there's rules still. You'll find out in life there's rules everywhere. You go to the job, there's rules. No matter where you're going, there's rules. And unless, you abide by them. So the way the transgressor is hard. But I have kids, like Chris Ashley has one kid who he was like, I wish my parents were like you guys. Like, that's, I'm not going to call him out by his name. But he wishes he lived in our house because we're lenient. I'm like, man, if they could just see last night in my house, how lenient I am, We have rules. I mean, and Chris and Ashley's rules aren't grievous. They're not strict. I think we just think the grass is greener. And I think that goes with salvation. We don't know really what we have, and then we learn about it more as we grow. And it's like, wow,
Yeah.
27 years old is when I realized.
And that's why I'm saying growing up Christian is different. Because,
Yeah.
again, if you get saved at a young age, necessarily, and I'm not saying that's not for everyone. Some people, BC, Brother Child got saved at 9. and there was he never kind of strayed off the path. But growing up Christian, some of us we get saved from fire and we're good people. And it's kind of like it's easier to just be like, well, I don't have that issue. When someone preaches, it's like preaching on this and preaching on that. You're like, I don't struggle with any of that. But maybe I'm not serving, or I'm not walking, or I'm not even just getting up every day and recognizing that I need to pray and I need to ask God for my forgiveness and keep a clean sin account. Either, I'm not actually bad, but maybe my thoughts or my desires or my contentness, contentness is not.
Yeah, I thought I was pretty good. I mean, I was bad.
Yeah, you are.
But I thought I was pretty good when it came to.
No, but the other thing.
I didn't. When I was older, I realized how wicked I was. That I was when I disobey my parents, I'm really not disobeying them. I'm disobeying God, because God said, "Children, obey your parent."
Right.
So it was double the sin. I dishonored my parents and I disobeyed God. So I think guys that are watching, teenagers that are watching, it isn't your parents that you're obeying. God says to obey your parents. You don't have to like the rules. Rules are not to be liked. And I tell the kids all the time, until Jesus rules in your life, you're going to need rules. Because our rules are going to try to keep you from things you think you want until you go. And I thought I wanted... Listen, my shot in the eye story, that's the dude right there. But...
You're going to say I have good aim?
Thank God you weren't shooting last night at Trump. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right. Never mind. Not
you
even
would have
say
hit him.
that.
You would have hit him. But I wanted to stay at the camp. I thought my parents didn't know any better. My parents...
And they wanted you to go.
Yeah, my mom wanted... My mom...
Only you.
Mommy wanted me to leave. She
Just
kept saying, let's go, you're going, let's go. And my girlfriend was there, and I wanted to be with the cool guys.
Oh, your girlfriend.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm staying.
Does she get a shout out?
No. No, I don't have any girlfriends now. Thank God I'm married.
Shout out Miss Vice Ruyer.
Real good.
Miss Vi actually did love Christian.
Yeah.
She was his favorite.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
I mean, hey.
Anyway, I'm not going to say something.
In a different life, maybe.
So I was only a few people's favorite in life. I used to be a lot of people. Like, I used to be a lot of people's favorites, and then you get to know me, and you don't like me. It's a weird thing, isn't it? People get close.
No.
True.
No, it's not that weird.
I was your brother. Grew up.
You know what it is? We're always searching for acceptance.
Well, I think people don't. It's not that they don't like you. They can't stand that you're always real. You can't turn that off.
I'm not always real because
Yes,
I kiss butt a little to be loved. But if I got real, these people that I'm trying to kiss butt to get to love me would never be loved by me again. If I got real, not loved by me, but I would be like, see you later, bye. And I'm getting to that point in certain people in my life. Finally.
Well, you are pushing 50. So.
Yeah, I'm finally getting to that point to be like, I'm done. It ain't worth. You're not no real friend to me. But I'll get there. But anyway, because people think like, anyway, I'm not going to get into my heart because I don't like the
Well, tell your salvation because...
Well, my eye story, I fought with my mom to stay. My mom was telling my dad to let me leave. My dad was like, you know what, you know how we dads are. Like, let them learn.
Yeah, he wanted a long time.
And it was literally, I think it was only like 2 hours after they left, they just got into Philly and I got shot in the eye.
Time out. When I just thought of this. When you're saying you're gonna start being real and like with how you treat your friends and everything, is that way of thinking? Is that you being real in the flesh, or is that you being real in the spirit?
Well, that's the key. That's being real in the flesh. That's frustration. That's wanting to be their favorite person and you don't feel like you are because they don't act like you are. Like, I'll give you an example. Chris and Ashley are listening. We treat them a lot, and then he'll say something like this: "What are you trying to buy our friendship?" And that fires me up. Like, you kidding me? People take you out to eat all the time. Are they trying to buy your friendship? So don't ever think because I'm good to you, and I'm not only good to them. I'm good.
See, babe. So he's just trying not to buy.
I'm good to everybody. I am good to everybody, but I don't care if they like me or not. Chris and Ashley, I'm good to also, and I do care if they like me, but I'm not trying to buy your friendship. Like, why do you think someone's trying to buy your friendship?
Because
I overdo it.
No. I that has commonly happened to me.
Okay.
It's the way you show love. It's not the way they receive love.
Right.
Like, so the way they receive love acts of service.
The way Chris and Ashley receive love, honestly, and I love them, is leave us alone. And then we love you. When you talk to us too much or bug us too much or you buy us too much, we wonder.
Sounds like they don't really like you.
Exactly. I think I'm coming. You know, you said it. When I came to Christ, when I was 20, I was saved at a young age. I really, truly believe it, but I didn't know what I got. 27 years old. So I was like Christopher, their oldest son. I thought I knew better. Saved, I believe it, I receive it, but I just thought I knew better than my mom and dad. I get on the job, I got fired because I didn't want to obey the boss's rules. I didn't want to be on time. I didn't want to cut my hair. I didn't want to shut up. So I got fired from a lot of good jobs because I knew better than everybody. At 27 years old, I had a knee injury, and that put me on the sideline. and I couldn't work. Then the economy crashes, 2007.
Eight.
I couldn't. There was no work to be found. I had ACL, meniscus, and the bottom of my kneecap repaired. So now, and I do granite marble. So there is nobody wants an injured, repaired man because it's heavy work, and there is no one that would take you anyway because you're a high rate guy and there's no rates there. So that's when, laying on the couch recovering, the Holy Spirit said, "How do you?" And that's how I know I'm a believer. He said, "How do you like living my life your way?" And I realized when I have the Holy Spirit and I'm supposed to live His life, when I'm living it my way, it's double-mindedness and it causes problems in life. And so I realized, and I said, I got on my hands and one knee. I'll never forget it. And I said, I give you your life back to control. It's not mine. There's no such thing as rededicating your life. If you're a true believer, when you want to rededicate things, you rededicate His life back to His control. Mm-hmm. Then I got hungry for the Word of God. I wanted to just read. And I just read through my Bible. And I'm telling you, 6 months I read through the whole Bible. And then I couldn't stop reading. And then I just read. Then people start to say, why don't you preach for us? And I would get nervous, but I did. And the Lord just started to fill me, use me. And then I saw His will, being in His will. And it led me to this day here, sitting in a room talking on a podcast. I still haven't arrived. And I don't blame people in my life. It's my fault because I do push too hard. But you learn. You get into, what is that called when you wake up to things?
No clue.
No clue. No, you don't have a clue, and then you get a clue. It's like an admonition. Is that right?
A premonition?
A premonition.
No, premonition is like you foresee something.
No, I don't foresee anything. But I wake up to things
because you're blind to one eye.
Yeah. But there's my salvation testimony. At a young age, 8 years old, thought I was dying. It was gas pain, but I didn't know. Thought I was dying, going to hell. You
know what? Now that I think back,
I always had gas issues.
No, but you always thought you were dying. You remember? You would always.
I don't care now. I want to die some days. I'm just like, I'm done.
I remember you always trying to be like, I'm dying.
Yeah, but my life is blessed, and the Lord's been good to us.
But let me ask you this: what do you? So growing, because I think we have a disconnect, and analytics in the restaurant industry, we use analytics to year over year,
right,
to kind of dictate, hey, this is what history says. This is what we did. Let's adjust it so that way we do better in our worst months. I don't think we necessarily do that with our youth.
Right.
Like we haven't re-gauged how because growing up Christian is different than somehow our parents got saved and how others, where they get saved from a life of, like my kids, they completely grew up the same as me in the sense, except that I wasn't a pastor, like Daddy, but they grew up in a Christian home, with correction, with discipline, with the Bible, with Bible memory, with all of that, with Bible stories. And it's like, I know what I missed, where they missed on me, where it kind of, at 17, where they missed the mark of kind of maybe, I wasn't a rebel kid. I wasn't like hateful, or when I wanted to hurt, like I wanted to go try things. I was never that way. But part of me was like, I don't have a taste for that. I don't have a taste for that. And it was because more that, the rule base, like never a relationship. And I've kind of pushed on my kids, like, it's not me. You're not hurting me.
Yeah, I think it's our job.
You could turn into a drug addict tomorrow. It doesn't hurt me.
Right.
I'm living fine. I'm going to sleep. I'm still going to go to sleep at night. I'm going to be sad, but I'll still go to sleep at night. You're giving up your life. This is your opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with pushing Jesus on our kids. We want them to go to heaven. Right. We don't want them to die and go to hell. I think sometimes our podcast is taken as we're rebellious.
No, right.
And we're trying to tell us Christianity's horrible and church is messed up. Churches do mess up. Parents mess up. We're all human. Right. But it doesn't mean we have to say, well, my parents were really strict, so I'm going to leave and do what I want. Well, that's not a good idea.
You're hurting yourself.
Right. Your parents are really strict because they see that you really need work.
Well, see, even what Uncle Dan said, if your parents are really strict, you, in comparison to people with unsaved parents, you might be a bad kid according to their strict standards, but according to the world, they're saving you from a lot of the bad stuff that you could have been doing.
What makes us strict parents? We care to what? I don't want you to listen to certain music. Is that being strict?
No.
Is that being wise? I let you have a cell phone, but I don't let you have Safari at a young age. Is that being strict or is that being wise? So I think what we perceive as being strict is us as saying we're making sure you don't get placed to the devil.
No,
it's our job to oversee.
I think what I'm saying it's a little different. Growing up our Christian, it's a little different today.
Yeah, well, they're in a lot more liberal.
Right, it's a little different today.
Churches are wrecking the way we can raise our children because they're telling them they're like the devil in the garden. You could you could have.
You could walk the line.
You could have the world and you could listen to Taylor Swift and Jesus. Like, no, you can't. There's one way or it's the other. There's no double-mindedness, and I'm guilty of being double-minded, so I'm not judging. Or every time I leave Chris and Ashley's, they remind me, like, you're not being real, because when you're right. You mind it, you'll disagree with half the stuff you're saying. You agree.
I'm putting a Chris and Ashley counter up on the screen.
We're at
how many times today. We mentioned.
Do you ever you have friends that you love like that or no?
Not no more.
What happened?
I don't have
You bought their friendship?
No,
keep receipts.
I just learned, at least for me, this is for me.
Yeah. My family's my
people
friends.
Equal drama. And I hate drama.
Too. Yeah, Chris and that's probably why Ashley likes you a lot, Dan, like as a friend. Because she hates drama, and I'm not dramatic. I'm dramatic.
Why do you have to clarify as a friend?
Well, because I don't want people watching to think I'm real. I said she's friendly to all the guys. I'm teasing.
Right.
She don't really talk to many guys, but when she does, obviously love our family. I mean, when she came in for her and Chris came for Everly's funeral, they hung out with us. Yeah. They went to the restaurant. Dom and Denise. They love Dom. They like Dom, Denise. They like all of us. So it's a tease, but that's why Chris friend requested you too, because you're on the podcast. I want him to come to Philly. Get on the podcast, preach for us, and then I'm going to do like a whole week of spoiling that. I'm not going to spoil it. They're going to treat themselves.
Yeah,
they're going to treat me too.
Yeah,
I'm going to let them.
There you go.
Buy my friendship.
But I would say this.
They would.
But I would say you have to find out what are the acts of service, are they kind words. Everyone does receive love. Everyone gives love how they want to receive it.
Well, here's the
thing. For
me,
I gave you a gift last week.
Right. What did you give me? 2 weeks ago, you mean? Last week I wasn't there. Oh, last week, yeah.
Wow, this guy, his memory is shot.
But see, let me tell you something now. That's a testament to, that was after I came back.
Okay.
So you take care of them. I love them. I just want to take care of them. It's not my job. I don't have to buy you. It's just I love you, and this is how I show it. Yeah. Like, I don't want you to treat. And then the Lord gives it back.
But I give you a gift that way because I know that's how you like to receive love.
Yeah, I have to have acts of kindness.
Yes.
It don't have to be money or a gift.
It's
let me spend time with you.
Right.
Don't even tell me you love me.
A gift goes a long way.
You don't have to tell me they don't tell you they love you back, which is fine.
Gift giving.
I tell everyone I love them.
It's called gift giving.
Yeah,
you like gift giving. Yes, you do.
I do like gifts.
Daddy, that was his way into your heart all the time.
But I don't give them the gift.
He would buy you animal stuff.
But they'll think now that I'm giving them a gift to get a gift.
No.
I'm not. That's just how I love. Like, I clean, I cook. Right. I do that for Catherine. Show her how much I love her, how I appreciate her. And it's not a feminist thing.
But that's how most people then give love. They give the love the way they expect to, how they want it.
I want to be loved by you being real with me, open. Don't hide stupid stuff. Like, tell me, if I ask you about your life, tell me about your life. Don't be.
You never ask me about my life.
Don't be beating around the bush. I don't love you. But don't be beating around the bush that bad. See, so but
never does.
You know what's great for me? I don't have friends. Me and Lily don't have we're friendly with people.
I'm the same. People think I have a ton, and I don't.
But
I'm liked by a lot, but I don't have a close circle.
That's a stretch.
Who's my
liked by a lot?
I'm liked by a lot.
My inner circle is 2 people.
Yeah,
it's very small. I mean, I don't.
That's how it is with me. It's 2 people. I have a lot of friends. I love our church family. Don't get me wrong. Church family and friendship are different.
Right.
Well, I was blessed.
I have a church family. I hang with them. We are friends, but there's a limit. You can't bring church family too close because you have to lead them. And if you get too close, they don't respect you and honor you to lead because they're going to see something they might not like, pick on you. So there is a fine line. That's why I do believe as pastor and pastor's wife, you need a good pastor and pastor wife close friendship so you can vent to one another.
Who is your close pastor?
Chris McDonald, he's a pastor, and his wife. You should see what they did there. Guess what they renamed their church, Dan? You're going to love this.
Third Baptist?
No, it was Bible Believers or Grace Bible, and now it's Solid Rock Bible Baptist Church.
Well, good for them.
Yes.
At least they know how to name a church.
And he doesn't really like the Baptist word so much because he's like us. The Baptists can scare people off because they're crazy. Yeah. Some Baptists are crazy.
Yep.
They're just it's like following some anyway, it's like following a crazy crowd, some of them. You know, I like these Facebook pastors. I've been watching them battle over the hill. The goodness of God is running after me. A pastor put a post up about it. A friend of that pastor said, that's a worldly group in church that sings it, Bethel Church. And they all start going at it. I felt good to not be the one involved.
Invite me to that group.
I'm not in the group. It's all over Facebook. But what I'm saying is they named their church that. They've done a wonderful job. You go there, they opened up their foyer. So check them out. They're on YouTube. It's Solid Rock Baptist Bible Church. No, Solid Rock Bible Baptist Church, Pastor Chris McDonald.
Nice.
Preaches the word
North
simple.
Carolina?
South Carolina.
What part of South?
North Charleston.
Oh, the unsafe part.
They're in a real rich part.
Greenville, brother. Greenville.
Yeah, ask them on Facebook, Dan. You got them now.
I do.
And Ashley has your phone number.
Oh, do they? Great.
Yeah, send her a text. Say, don't watch
text.
the podcast.
Don't text me.
Oh, she's a big buster. That's one thing. She's like she's a Southern with a city slicker heart.
Oh.
But she don't like the city.
So
but
like Carrie.
She'll tell you like it is.
Like Carrie and Jason.
Yeah, she's not bossy, but she'll tell you like it is if she has to.
But yeah, but I think listen, to say,
But they're concerned with our podcast because they're saying I'm not real enough, when they're right. Sometimes I disagree.
They're saying that we're being too fictitious on the podcast, basically.
Yes, and I think that's a whole bunch of platypus.
I think again, well, we said this at the end of last week.
Had to fit that word in somewhere. You can't put platypus in any of my words.
Yes, you can. Uncle Dan gave you a perfect opportunity earlier
I did.
when he said that Pop gives you animal gifts.
Yes.
I thought you were going to bring it up then.
I set you up.
My mind is so
that don't count.
So warped. But anyway,
It's because you got Chris and Ashley
need to
on
tell
the brain.
their kids who
What?
listen.
I said it's because you got Chris and Ashley on the brain.
I always have them on the brain. They're my best friends in life.
Aw,
they don't look at me that.
Goodness, this is.
I
So,
don't
I thought you were getting more
is there
real
going to be
on your-
like? Is there going to be romantic music playing?
I know. I thought he was going to get more real.
It'll be more like Michael Myers.
I thought
So
he-
listen, or that's Jason. But their kids need to hear us say that because they think
Is
we're
it Michael Myers?
we're
Jason?
saying grown up Christians.
Oh, thanks.
We're saying grown up Christian is rough. It's a bad thing, and we're not saying that.
No, I think it is rough.
Well, it's rough on us because we're fleshly.
Yeah.
But it isn't because Christianity's rough.
No,
I think how Christians at
No,
church
I was
can
going to
make
say
it that way.
it is rough. I mean,
Yeah.
to say it's not rough is just is either you didn't experience the way I did,
Right.
and you have no grounds to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because again, it is rough, and it's rougher for other people than it is maybe for us.
Well, here's the difference with us, I think, too. Church people were very rough on us. I mean, I remember getting my ears yanked by Miss Dahl
I was just
in the middle of a service.
I was about to give you the fingers.
Yeah, getting spanked,
Yeah.
like as I walked by, punched in the arm real hard by
Yeah.
men who I got under their skin. So, but it wasn't that. I'm not blaming the church, the people in it.
Yeah.
They are the church, so it's very hard. You got to learn to separate the two.
Yeah.
But they're not at fault for me making bad decisions and living.
No. That is what I think I've come to say, and I try to tell my kids. You're hurting you.
Right.
You want to go if you come, if you have addiction like things in your in your teenage years,
Right.
they're just going to turn into addictive things in your 20s, which are different.
Right.
You might be addicted to your phone. You might be addicted to Instagram. In your 20s, that addiction can turn into alcohol, into drugs, into other things.
Go study to be a ninja.
Right.
It's very hard. Are you going to stop and quit because
Also-
it's hard, or do you want to continue? So being a Christian is not easy. It is hard. It goes against our flesh, but when we're going through it, and the hard part to me living in a Christian home is it's all the time, which it should be, but you then don't know how to separate the two, what's real and
balance.
you don't know, and that's the parent's job to bring us to that knowledge, raise up a child in the way they should go.
Yeah, and again, that's where I think.
But I enjoyed growing up in a Christian home.
Oh no, I mean, I walked into my 20s with.
I didn't know how hard we were for dad until I'm a dad. I was like, man, how do they deal with 6 of us? I can't deal with Lucas.
I wouldn't have dealt with a kid like you.
It's true.
put
Was I
him
getting
to the
crazy?
thing-
I don't remember anything.
Dude,
you shot me in the face and I forgot my
Chris,
life.
do I have time for a quick story?
Yeah, we got plenty
Go
of time.
ahead.
All right, so this one story
We're an
is
hour.
the best.
You could edit some of it
Christian's probably 16.
Edit some of it out.
Nope.
You're a
I'll send
jerk.
it to you. You can edit
Yeah,
it.
you can edit it.
No, I got no time for that.
All right. All right, let me finish this story before it goes to an hour and 5 minutes.
All right.
So this is just to tell you how crazy Chris was growing up. He's 16, 17 at the time.
I'm blind already.
We're all down in the living room. My dad's sitting at a table like this and facing, and there was a huge mirror right in front of him, and the steps went up behind my dad. And my dad's yelling at Chris about something stupid, and
He's not really even yelling. So
yeah, he's not even yelling.
He's
He's not even yelling. He's correcting him.
Yeah, he's
and
being
we're
a
all
man.
sitting in the living room, kind of whatever. And Chris is standing on the steps behind him, and Chris is an idiot sometimes.
All the time.
And thinks, I'm going to make a face at my dad, mocking him. The whole time, my dad's just looking in the mirror at him as he's correcting him. My dad's not looking down. He's like this, looking into the mirror, and Christian's behind him going, and man,
got knocked
my
out.
dad flipped. grabbed
glad
him
you're
by
telling
his
this story
shirt,
nobody will believe these.
throws him against the wall, says, "Really?" And I'm telling you, thank God, Nick's not that
He's
way.
like, put
Brooke's
your hands
not that
up.
way.
And I thought I could fight, so I did.
Put his hands
Well,
up.
I could fight, but boy.
And man, it was ugly. My mom was trying to get my dad to back down, and it was just like,
Knocked me out.
oh my goodness.
I got knocked out twice by Daddy.
Hence why I don't think you were like that either.
Which I deserve both knockouts.
Right.
I
But
deserved both knockouts.
If I could not deal with a kid like
No,
you.
Ethan's more like him than
Yeah,
I
Ethan
am.
almost got knocked out a few weeks ago.
Did he?
Yo, yeah. I was going to kill him. I headbutted him. Disrespected. He said I was this close. I was like, this close to what? And then he went and answered, and he just kind of like clenched his hands. That was over. That's like a fight to me.
Yeah, they're lucky I was there. I'm the Mr. Peacemaker. I was grabbing him,
Oh, you
seeing
were
him
there?
off. Yeah.
But here's the thing. We fail as parents. That's failing. That's letting my anger, my temper, and people don't. I don't know if people know that about me as much because the Lord has delivered me a lot.
Oh yeah,
from it.
you were tough.
But I hate rejection. I hate like you reject. You tell me I can't have.
Yeah, you got a serious complex with that.
I do.
He does.
I don't know why. I got to really work on it.
Dude, I can get under his skin.
Everybody
so
can.
quick.
That's a soft
Yeah,
part.
but I know
Some people I'll smile off.
I can get under his skin, and I try not to get under his skin.
Yeah. They tell them, don't you, dude?
Oh, I know how to do it.
They'll talk about my weight or my hair or.
You're telling everybody. I wasn't going to tell everybody
Well,
how
I'm
to
being-
get under your skin.
I'm being real. There's nothing to be. If anybody else did it, I don't care. Like you, it's got to be someone like I really love and think about. And then when you do that to me, it hurts. Yeah, I
He
love
loves
you.
me.
I think you're my favorite brother out of all my brothers. And then it goes
Thank
to none of them. No I'm kidding. I love all my brothers.
Breaking news.
But we were close.
Yeah, we were.
Dom tried to bully us. We double teamed
Yep.
him. You know. So
We
Dom,
played. I mean, we.
Dom was
did.
raised like a only child.
He was. Well, that's the whole Nina, Joanne, Dom.
Those three were angels.
Yep.
And then
Couldn't
me
do
and
no
you-
wrong.
Well, they really were pretty
No,
angelic.
Joanne and Dom were horrible.
Joanne was like me more. Like she gets offended easily.
No,
She
but
gets
Joanne
hurt.
was a sneak,
Yeah, she was. So was I.
and Dom
Yeah.
was the bigger sneak out of both of you.
All of us. But he knew how to do it.
Yes,
Sweet
he
talker.
knew not. Dude, the guy cheated through schools like whole
Oh,
life.
they had a whole cheating
whole
ring.
cheating ring. It was
Pastor
amazing.
Joe, Kenny Kai's
I mean, it was set
selling-
from the top down.
They were selling
They almost
Scorpies.
killed the teacher.
They had like a whole ring.
Didn't they almost hit a
Yeah,
teacher?
they poisoned her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell
Not
her.
gonna lie.
That's a true story. So, I mean, we were
Dude,
bad.
not lying. They poisoned her coffee in the morning.
With what?
I don't know. I was like 5 years old.
So at the end of the podcast, it isn't to be raised in a Christian home. First, Jesus is the only way. We know that. You have to give your life. I don't care if you're a pastor's kid or not. You're a sinner, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we think we're better than other kids because we're pastor's kids. Because we hear it all the time. And we think the rules are super strict. But any home has those rules. You might say, well, little Johnny gets to play PlayStation for 8 hours a day and I only get one. Thank God. Your brain isn't going to be as warped and messed up. And and that's for my kids. I let them play. I'm bad with that stuff. I mean, I need to really crank it up at the house. And
Look out, Ethan and Lucas.
Yeah,
You
well,
arrogant
there goes Cable.
Ethan has no. Ethan has graduated. He really doesn't care. He's in love. He's working. He's dating. Chaperone dating, by the way, I disagree with unchaperoned dating. That's another whole battle, because I think you date to marry. You don't date to date anyway. But yeah, rules are important. If you think the grass is greener, you're going to learn at the job. You're going to learn in the military. No matter where you go, I love when kids go to the military thinking, "I'm getting away from rules," and there's more rules.
Yeah.
Or I'm getting out of this house. I can't wait to get out of this house. I thought that, and then I got out of the house and realized who's paying my bills, who's paying my I got to go to work.
Let me, if I may, paraphrase. The grass is greener
Yeah,
sometimes.
right.
It is greener. It's just the fact that those consequences of being on that greener grass are far more worse. You know,
There's the old story of the farmer who's jealous of his farmer's property because it's greener grass than his, and he can't. He just wants it. He wants it, so he kills the farmer, kills his neighbor. He gets over there. He can't wait to find out the
A lot of murder on this podcast.
Yeah, a lot of murder. And he digs up the grass, and it's a broken septic tank underneath. And that's a good lesson to learn, that when you think the grass is greener, it's a poop tank under there.
yeah,
And excuse the French for saying poop.
right. And when I say that is
Yeah, that's the word.
sin, because
That's where we get the
because I
podcast
think
for
the
this podcast.
sin is fun.
I'm about to use the platypus word in a whole new way.
But I want to paraphrase that sin is fun.
Yes,
It is-
It's pleasurable.
it is
The Bible
pleasurable.
says it is pleasurable.
And it's one thing
For a
that we
season.
paint a picture, right?
Yeah.
Because there's consequences.
So if you're a kid out there listening, think if your parents gave in to all of your wants, where would that lead you?
Right.
You're allowed to have your cell phone unguarded, your music unguarded. Where would that lead you? Like just think about it. Where's it going to take you? It's going to take you where? Tell me where it's going to take you. Put it in the comment. If my mom and dad would lift all the rules and let me live in their house, what is that going to allow me to do? And you're going to find out at the end it's going to allow you to be further from Christ, further from what they're trying to raise you to do. So you better honor your father. You better honor your mother, and that's for my boys watching. And if they're not parent, it's our job to put them in their place and to encourage them. And there's a lot of ways to encourage them. We can't get into too much detail so we don't get banned. But you can encourage them a lot of different ways and take away things. I take their phones away. I take their games away. I shut the internet off. They're going to honor me. I pay the bills. We work hard. That's honoring us. And then they're going to obey the rules whether they like it or not. And if they don't like it, no matter how old they are, I tell them to go. Get out. I just did it to a kid not too long ago. And about 3 hours later, he's still sitting out on the step crying. Because he realized I ain't got nowhere to go. Because nobody in my family is going to support a rebellious kid. And so if you're a rebellious kid, you better wake up, love, and feel. And there's nothing like your parents. Right. I wish I could go back and enjoy my parents more.
Yep.
They were wonderful parents. I know on this we tell my dad he made some mistakes, and it seems like we're bad-mouthing him, but I made worse mistakes than my dad. So it's just how it goes.
You know what? I like that.
I had kids.
Wait. That's a good place to end it right there. That's a good place to end it right there.
And Gianna, I love you. I miss you.
That's a good place to end it right there. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the Podcaster. We hope you enjoyed it. If you watched this far,
sorry for the
comment.
venting.
If you watched this far, comment down below. Chris and Ashley is the word of the episode. Yeah. So if you watched, comment Chris or Ashley, whichever one you like more. Put that name down in the comments.
And one thing.
And then
one more thing. Why do you have such a platypus face today, Chris?
Oh, okay. Well done. Well done. Yep.
How does that make sense?
Yeah, you were miserable all day. You're like,
face.
A platypus has a face.
I'm not miserable.
Why the long face?
Listen,
we're not about Jesus. Turned you off, son?
This guy says the guy that before we start, we're going to talk now real quick. So before we start the podcast, let's
get into it now. This is
now
real.
We're done. But I'm going to get the last word.
You don't say you're done. I'm the podcaster.
I run the show.
You run it as much as I let you run it.
Cut the camera. I'll say who runs it.
You cut that camera, you ain't coming over for beans.
You don't take us out anyway. So before the podcast, so we should argue more. Come at me. I'm ready. I'm ready
to be real.
Yeah, and then we don't.
You don't come at me though. You cower down.
Wow. No, I don't. I called you out right at the beginning of the podcast.
And I called you a liar.
Wow. Yeah, and I proved you wrong, and you said I recant. I recant.
He did.
I recant.
You did recant.
I recanted a little bit, but I don't recant. No. I don't recant that it's a trashy show.
No.
Anything that tries
that's
to
a recant because 2 days ago you said it wasn't.
Hold on. The official debate. If you back up, you lose.
Yeah, you
backed up.
Vacation Bible School. I disagree. I told you I agree and disagree. But with the
how do you agree and disagree?
Because I could see both ways.
So if you disagree, should we not do it? Should we call it off?
I see both sides. No, we shouldn't. We should not cancel it. That doesn't mean it's sin. I disagree with that part. But when it comes to now, they're going to say, well, if you're calling that trash, then what's a Hollywood? But because that's Hollywood defaming our Jesus, and you know what I mean, making him weak.
And watch this, Sasha.
I haven't watched one episode, but I heard they make him look weak in there.
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Like
I don't watch it.
Like effeminate, I should say. More feminine.
I don't watch it, but I'll show you how to use a word and end the argument real quick. I believe that you can use fictitious things to bring kids closer to God. That was my word, fictitious. So I used it.
Way to tell everybody that was your word.
So, wait a second. Can I be a fictitious Christian and bring people to God?
Yeah, God can use you as a fictitious Christian
because He uses evil.
Yeah,
He used
God used the Pharisees as an example for a lot of Christians.
Pharaoh's heart. He used Pilate to kill his son.
He used Barabbas.
So I think that you can use anything to bring kids closer to God as long as God's in it.
But He don't want to use you that way. So get right with the Lord and ask your parents.
You don't want to be the bad example, but God will use it as an example whether you like it or not.
I have a big shout out.
That's good.
Dana White's birthday.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I don't want to say ages.
52.
We're talking
triple digits.
Robert E. Lee stuff.
All right, thank you for watching this episode of the podcast.
By the way, best choice is the only choice.
Comment down below, Chris and Ashley, if you've made it this far, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Right,
love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.